So after the first 2 days of Carolina Panthers training camp, if I had to pick one player that has some of the most buzz on the team right now, it has to be Laviska Shenault. And the crazy part about it is, this time about exactly a year ago, he wasn't even a member of the team. Yes, the Panthers traded for him last year, but I think a lot of people forget that Laviska Shenault was not acquired until after training camp. So all the experimenting that the Panthers are doing right now with him, lining him up in the backfield and the slot, putting him in motion, that's not the type of thing that he was a part of last year, and he really struggled to get a part of the offense. Yes, he had those little bubble screens on the RPOs and had some big plays that Ben McAdoo featured him as, but after training camp, it's hard for the squad to really put in different type of things to see what he's capable of. But Frank Reich and Thomas Brown, the offensive coordinator, have made a concerted effort throughout training camp to really get him involved. And with those comments earlier in the spring from Frank Reich calling him like Deebo Samuel like role, I think all the fans are getting overly excited. But in this video, I want to take a look at a couple clips that I took from training camp when I was there in person, just to show you how exactly they could be implementing Laviska and what could work, what hasn't worked. Yes, it's in t-shirts and shorts, but you can still see the lines on the field and see what their vision is for him. I got all that and more. We're starting right now. What up, dude? What's going on? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. Man, I do recap and analysis of the Carolina Panthers, as you can tell. So make sure you are subscribed down below, because I'm bringing you these clips from training camp, but I'm at training camp, so I'm reporting there. I'm giving my getting my eyes on these guys. I'm really taking in the action and really got boots on the ground. So if you want to stay up to date on everything that's been going on, make sure you are subscribed down below and hit that bell icon, because I'm probably gonna start going live, maybe do some Q&As and get some rapid fire questions from you guys. But I also do my daily recap videos as well that a lot of you have been enjoying. So make sure you are subscribed, hit the bell icon. Also, give this video a thumbs up to show your support, because it doesn't cost you a thing. It only takes about 2 seconds. Likes and love is free, so make sure you show some love, get a video a thumbs up. But if you want to show extra more appreciation, please, you can hit that super thanks down below. That's a heart button with a $sign in it. It really is like a tip jar for creators. It really shows your appreciation for my hard work, being on the ground and suffering in that heat in Spartanburg. So I appreciate that. But before we get too deep into it, man, I want to get you guys' thoughts about Laviska, man. Like, how do you feel about his role being kind of like that little Deebo Samuel like role that they're moving around? Do you think that, I mean, obviously Deebo Samuel's a all-pro receiver, so I don't know if he can live up to that bill, but do you think Laviska can do some type of things like that? Man, I want to get you guys' thoughts about Laviska down below in the comment. Laviska Shenault, like I said, he was traded after training camp. They didn't really get a chance to have a little bit of fun with him like they're doing now. So what we've seen, though, is a lot of different versatility, because I know we're meshing together Thomas Brown and Frank Reich's system, but you can see some of those Sean McVay principles all over it. So Sean McVay tends to have a gadget guy in their offense. It's currently now they have Tutu Atwell. They give him some end arounds, some running plays, and then also some receiving plays. I think that Laviska Shenault can be that gadget guy, but the way they've been lining him up in training camp, he's doing a lot more than that, and that's going to spell a lot of things, because when you have a guy like Laviska Shenault that can line up in a bunch of different places, it really makes the defense has to think. And when defenses have to think a lot more and not just play football, it can make them get out of place. That little half a step that they have to hesitate and think about can get them out of position, and it can cause big plays. Laviska Shenault lining up in the slot most of the time, but also motioning to the backfield. The defense is going to overreact, and it may cause other people to open up. And I'm going to show you that in these plays, because I said in the previous video, that's the kind of effect that Christian McCaffrey had on our offense, because when you move him around, he's a guy that you have to account for. And when there's a guy that when you break the huddle, the defense has to account for, they kind of lose a little bit of attention on everybody else, and it really opens up things a lot. So let's go ahead and look at some of these clips that I got from practice. So some of you might have been hearing that Laviska has been lining up in the backfield, but you might be thinking he's in the I formation to do this and that and the third straight up at running back. Not all the time. They're not going to just line up and put Laviska back there, because it's a little bit too simple. What you want to do is put the defense in conflict. Sean McVay and that Thomas Brown tree, they like to motion, they like to shift, they like to give defenses a lot to think about to make them put a lot of pressure on them. Because when you do a lot of motion and stuff at the last second and you quick snap it, you can get them out of position like I talked about. And that's exactly what they're going to do here. Laviska Shenault is going to be here in the slot, but he's going to motion to the backfield. Laviska's right here. Look, motion into the backfield, stop right there. He gets set. The defense shift. You see Jeremy Chin bump in a little bit, because he's going to the box now. But also now you see the running back running out the backfield. So this is crazy, because you have a receiver motion into the backfield, but all of a sudden you run that, you run the running back out of the backfield, and now Jeremy Chin has to follow him. There's one less defender in the box. Now you have 4 defenders in the box, 5 defenders in the box, and you got 5 offensive linemen plus a running back. You have a numbers advantage because of that. And now you can get a decent run. Yes, it doesn't have pads on, but you're playing that numbers game. That's what you want to do. Let's run it one more time to see how the defense reacts. See, Chin, I'll go back a little bit more, sorry. Chin was lined up in front of him. Look at Chin right here. Being at safety / that linebacker role that you guys want to put him in the box for. You see he was lined up in front of him, but as Laviska motions in, he's going to bump. Shaq's going to bump over and rotate. Now they're both in the box. But then once the running back goes back out, Chin has to go like, what the heck? Okay, I'm back out here. And now you have, like I said, that numbers advantage. I mean, obviously, if you block better with pads on, it'll be better. But that's the type of stuff they're going to do with Laviska, putting him into the backfield. They're not just going to line him up in the backfield or in I formation. They're going to motion him back there. They're going to give the defense a bunch of things to think about. And I love the way they're mixing it up by getting him the ball instead. It's a little bit of a tough angle because we're not that high up on the hill. It's not usually the all 22 that you usually see, but you can still get a good vantage point. So Laviska Shenault is going to be right here on the far side on the field as a single wide receiver. He's going to be offset from Ian Thomas, who is the tight end here. We got trios bunch on the play side closest to the screen on this side. But what they're going to work right here is called the Salem pass concept. And what the Salem is Laviska Shenault is going to run about 10 to 12 yards and square across the field, square in across the field. Ian Thomas is going to run a 5-yard hitch or stop route. So 5 yards and just stop and turn around. What they're going to be doing is trying to influence his underneath coverage so that the underneath coverage jumps on the short route to Ian Thomas. It should leave a window open right behind him for Laviska Shenault. If they hang back deep on Laviska Shenault, Bryce is going to throw it to Ian Thomas. And this is just more of a traditional passing concept, and a lot of teams run this. It's just one of my favorite route concepts. And if you watch my DJ Moore wide receiver breakdown last season, you saw he ran this a lot against the Falcons and ate them up with it. So this is going to happen. I'm going to let this play right here, and this is just going to be just seeing Laviska run a precise route, come up with a tough catch.
$300
the defender's working. So watch Laviska come off the ball, 10, 12 yards, square in. Look at that. The underneath coverage, look, I'm paused it right here. Bryce is already making his decision because they talk about Bryce's processing. He already sees it. Laviska let me go back just a little bit. Bryce is reading it. He's looking at this defender right here. If the defender jumps on Ian, which he does, it's going to be open right behind him, which is exactly what happens when Laviska comes around that corner. Bryce is already delivering the ball. The ball is on his way in between C.J. Henderson right here and Von Bell. Ball gets there. Look at him catching it out in front with his hands. Defender's trying to swipe it away. Makes a strong catch. Look, protects the ball. Defender's on his back. Can't make the play, though. Let's run it one more time. I want you guys to see it in fast motion. Bam. Ball's already gone. Tough catch. Comes up with it. Hangs on to it. Look, that's a traditional tough catch. When you're 220 pounds, you can go across the middle and have no fear because you can take those blows and break those tackles and still come up with strong catches. Laviska's strong build is very beneficial for him going across the middle, and that's exactly what the team is doing with him. Hey, if you're still watching this right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and the bell icon. That way you get more videos brought by Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk, NFL content, Panthers content, all kind of good football stuff. So you don't want to miss anything, hit the subscribe button down below. Let's get back to it. So this is the type of stuff that I love to see because football, it can be complicated, but it's not that complicated at the same time. You can run the same things, but if you window dress it and give the defense a different look, I told you guys, the more you give them to think about, the better off you are. This is going to be the same route combination, that Salem concept that I talked about, but it's going to be run on the opposite side of the field. This time you're going to see on the far side of the field, you got Terrace Marshall Jr. right here, and then you have, it's hard to tell, I think that's Shy Smith, but they're going to run the Salem concept here. Terrace is going to run up and square in. This far receiver over here is going to run a hitch route. We're talking about Laviska, though. Laviska's going to be right here in that slot. He's going to motion to the backfield. When you motion a receiver who's traditionally at receiver, into the backfield, it can throw the defense into a tailspin. And so they're going to think like, okay, hey, this looks pretty suspicious. Are they going to run a trick play to Laviska? Are they going to hand it off to him? Or are they trying to draw up something for him? When you see a player like that get moved to a certain position, it can just throw the defense into a frenzy. So let's take a look at what happens when they motion Laviska to the backfield. So Laviska goes across like he's going in motion, but he goes to the backfield. Look, the defense setting up. And you see the rotation right here from the safety. It looks like Xavier Woods is walking down. And the fact that Laviska's in the backfield, he's going to get that attention. So watch what happens to these defenders when Laviska runs this route. He's going to run up and out to the flats, a simple out route into the flats. But the fact that he's a receiver doing that, you have a safety and you have, look at Shaq right here. Shaq, the inside linebacker, he knows that Laviska is the back out of the backfield. And like I said, he thinks the defense is doing something and the offense is doing something crazy. So look, Laviska runs that out route and both of them jump. Bryce was looking that way. I just wanted you to watch Bryce's eyes a little bit. Bryce's eyes is so smart. Watch how smart Bryce is. He's looking, it's hard to tell right here, but he's looking this way to the left. He's working that defense. He's looking to the left. And Laviska runs that out route. Look how hard it influences Shaq and Xavier Woods. As soon as they see Laviska break out, look, both of them break there. But remember what I said about the Salem on the backside. This is going to leave Shi Smith wide open across the middle. Bryce comes back to it so quick. Bryce sees how fast the defense reacts to Laviska. He uses his eyes to trick the defense. Look how Bryce switches his feet. His feet are open there, but he turns it immediately as soon as he sees the defense go. Bryce, they talk about Bryce's processing. Look at Shi Smith wide open across the middle, puts it on him. Shi makes a big play, moves the sticks, man. This is beautiful. I'll run it one time in fast motion so you can see. And watch Shaq and Xavier Woods get influenced by Laviska coming out of the backfield because you motion the receiver to the backfield, that running back, they think something crazy is happening. He runs out, they jump right behind him. I got to give a round of applause to Bryce though on too. I know we gassed up Bryce's quote unquote processing, but this is what processing is. When you see the defense react, look, he's watching the defense react. As soon as he sees it react, he passed the ball and turns immediately backside. He knows the fact that Shaq jumped this route is going to vacate the middle and Shi's wide open. He puts the ball right on him, man. When you have a quarterback that can read defenses and process fast, this is what you can do. And when you give the defense a bunch of things to think about, that one half misstep that Shaq made towards Laviska was just enough of a window for Bryce to come back to Shi Smith. It's a beautiful thing what happens when you have this many guys that have this tricks in the bag like Laviska with a smart quarterback like Bryce who can manipulate the defense like that even more, man. I love this type of stuff. So I definitely want to clarify that it is still mad early in training camp, man. Like they're just trying stuff out. And Frank Reich said they don't want to do too much. They're just trying to see what works. I mean, it's training camp. They're going to just put Laviska everywhere and see how the defense reacts, see what they can get going, see what Laviska is good at, see what he's not good at. This is when you do that stuff. And like I said, Laviska, this time last year, he was not a Carolina Panther. So they did not have the luxury of doing experiments and stuff like that in practice to see what he could do. So I'm really excited what the type of role he could be. I think it's going to be very much expanded. If he could give us 300 or 400 yards rushing and 400 yards receiving, man, that would be a great season, in my opinion, for Laviska, who's just a gadget guy / wide receiver 4 or whatever. So I'm excited about them trying to take advantage of the versatility of this 215, 220-pound wide receiver who has a lot of skills and can do some things to damage the defense. And I showed you the myriad of ways that he can attack the defense, and the team used him, man. I'm super excited. So you guys let me know down below in the comments how you're feeling about Laviska Shenault's role after I kind of showed you a little bit behind the page of what everybody's been talking about and what all the buzz and the hype has been about. I want to get you guys' thoughts down below. But without further ado, my name is Aaron Duncan signing off. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any training camp updates. I'll see you next time. Peace.